This is Action Sports Jax 1st and 10 Training Camp, sponsored by Farah & Farah, the exclusive personal injury law firm of the Jaguars.
We bought into it, man. That was the hardest training camps of our lives, man. We complained every single day, every day. But, you know, the results paid off, and the success that we had, that 2017 team was special, man.
Tashaun Gipson was talking about that 2017 training camp. They were not happy going into that year, and then they won, and then they were happy. Hopefully this time around will be just as special for Tashaun Gipson and the Jaguars like that 2017 season. Those 5 guys were very good. Gipson was very good on that team. The Jags front might have some personnel that could rival the 2017 season on defense, but until we see more of the linebackers in secondary don't match up with what Saxonville did back then. Hello and welcome to 1st and 10 Training Camp, everybody. I'm Brent Martineau. How about this? Calais, Jan, and Dante Fowler back then had 34.5 sacks combined. Could Josh Hines-Allen, Trayvon Walker, and Arik Armstead get to that number? Well, it's possible. 27.5 for Josh and Trayvon alone last year. Good news, back-to-back days on the injury front. Anton Harrison back to full practice Monday, and today Armstead was removed from the physically unable to perform list. The Jags will still take it slow with the veteran, but he's a huge part of this now in Jacksonville. They know he doesn't need crazy work in training camp. He's a veteran, 30 years old. They just want to make sure he's ready to go and fully healthy for the regular season opener after he had meniscus surgery this offseason. This morning, the Jaguars got their final solo practice of the week done. Training camp winding down. It just feels a little bit different during these game weeks. The Jaguars are getting ready to welcome the Tampa Bay Bucks for the next couple of days. And for many players, the next 2 days are the game because some of the starters won't play Saturday night.
You tend to play a little bit differently, so it amps up the competitiveness. It amps up kind of the unknown, which is the cool part. That's football for us, but there's still a protected environment, which is a good thing. But I think for us too, as the offensive staff, there's a lot of things we want to see if they're good, see if we're good at these certain things. There's a lot to learn. I really enjoy it. I think we get a lot out of it.
It'll be fun to mix it up next couple of days. Battles in the trenches today. They were mixing it up at practice. That'll amp up even more against the Bucks. Parker Washington was the star of Saturday night. He continues to stack up days on the practice field, and another day of that today. Those joint practices begin at 9:30, both Wednesday and Thursday. Again, open to the public, jaguars.com/training camp. You have to register for those workouts. Back to Gipson, who had me reminiscing about 2017. A lot has changed since his last season in Jacksonville, which was 2018, actually. New facility, heck, a new stadium on the way. Franchise QB, Josh Allen was a rookie. Now he's a $150 million and left out a few zeros. And his name's now Josh Hines-Allen. So, like I said, a lot's changed. Gipson on the practice field this week after being signed over the weekend. His 13th season, he's still got game. That will have to wait because of the league suspension of 6 games he faces. That also means the next couple of weeks are valuable for him to get familiar with Ryan Nielsen's defense and his new teammates and make sure he's getting his work in, because working out in football shape certainly can be 2 different things.
I look back at the time when myself, when I was a young guy here and we had that push in 2017, man, we was young guys. I was the oldest guy in the room at 25 years old at the time. So, you know, looking back on that, just the knowledge of the game, everybody's physically gifted. The thing about it, man, is mentally is just the understanding of how the game, man, just little tidbits that you can give these young guys. A lot of the things is above the shoulders. You know, I try to spread wisdom as much as I can to these young guys, and hopefully it stick to them.
Gipson helped the 49ers to the Super Bowl last year, so another winner added to the locker room. Hey, the Jags want a lot of players to get the sophomore jump in production, especially last year's draft class. There's one player most people don't have on their radar doing just that. We'll have the story. Number 54 coming up next. And Travis Etienne getting some work in. It's going to be a big year for the Jags top back.
When I say it means something to me, gentlemen, it means something to me.
High school football is back, and it's bigger than ever. Welcome to the Friday Night Zone Blitz.
It is bigger than a game.
Watch the biggest games each week live as the action unfolds with instant reaction and analysis from our Hall of Famer, Kevin Sullivan. It starts with live look-ins at the top matchups, including our Jaguars Prep Whataburger Game of the Week. And that is just the beginning of 4 straight hours of coverage. From 8 to 10:30, the Friday Night Zone Blitz is streaming on our Action News Jax app and online. At 10:30, the Friday Night Blitz you know and love. A half hour of highlights from around the area. 11 o'clock, we shine the spotlight on the bands that pump up the crowd. 11:15, it's time to blitz through the highlights online and on air. Then 11:35, back to the stream to break down the night's results with a reaction from local coaches. 4 straight hours of high school football on the Friday Night Zone Blitz. Only on Action Sports Jacks 24/7.
You're watching Action Sports Jacks 1st and 10 Training Camp, sponsored by Farrah & Farrah, the exclusive personal injury law firm of the Jaguars.
Everything's earned, you know, respect is earned. You know, put a lot of good work in this offseason, and I just wanted to put my best foot forward each day, and that's what it's all about.
Parker Washington buzz is real. The question will be, how can they get him on the field? They've got a lot of folks in front of them, so maybe 5 or 10 snaps a game. Is it more? Is that enough to turn into production for number 11? We will find out. Still think the biggest thing we saw Saturday night was that 2023 draft class. Take Bigsby, Parker Washington, Christian Braswell, Tyler Lacey, Asir Abdullah, Ventrell Miller, Cooper Hodges, all showing up. That's 8 different guys that didn't do a whole heck of a lot a year ago. Welcome back to 1st 10 Training Camp. I'm Brent Martineau. 2 more nights of this show for 2024 will end Thursday night as camp gets ready to break soon. The Jags have 4 pass rushers they are comfortable with, it appears. Josh Hines-Allen, Trayvon Walker, Arik Armstead, and Travis Gipson. After that, it's up in the air. A player that keeps catching my attention at practice and certainly did again on Saturday night is DJ Coleman. He's a second-year player out of Missouri. Had a couple of quarterback hits the other night, and he seems to be around the ball a bunch. Action Sports Jacks' Marcel Robinson catching up with Coleman today.
We just getting better every day. Coach Nelson really on it. He from my coaching like standpoint, he probably one of the best coaches I done had when he make you really lock in on the attention to detail.
You guys are very different from the offense in that aspect. You guys obviously are in year 1 of Ryan Nielsen's system. You just mentioned, his coaching style or his scheme and everything.
Yeah.
What is it that makes him one of the better coaches, like you said, that you've had? Is it that hands-on? Is it just the way he teaches things?
It's the mentality and the way that he teach. You're gonna keep on doing it until you get it right hammered in. He remind me of my coach from Mizzou, Kevin Peoples. They really get on you. They make sure that you're doing it right. Because if you're not doing it right, it ain't gonna work.
When you have a guy like that, who is so hands-on, who brings that intensity on his side, do you feel that try to trickle into you guys as far as practice reps?
Yeah, because a lot of times he bring energy, and it boosts us too.
Talk about you, man. Obviously, year 2. Spent last year on the practice squad, obviously looking to do a little bit more or much more, this year. What was your approach? Was there anything differently? How did you prepare coming into this year to take that next step in your career?
Just basically sitting around with Ventrell, man. We just basically went into this year because we both had to sit down. But basically this year, just leave no doubt in it and make it 53.
Talk about being around, the guys in your room. You got some pretty good vets in your room.
Trey really be on me to just do right, to just stay the course, because everything don't come in just one day. You gotta keep working, perfect it. And the other night, it just clicked. It just started to click more.
You're a guy who, this sort of situation, you're no stranger to, obviously, in Jacksonville State, then going to Mizzou and having a pretty good year. This is kind of that year 2 jump that everyone talks about, in terms of the NFL career. Does the game seem to be slowing down a little bit? Are you seeing a little more? Are you figuring things out a little bit more now?
For sure, because Shoe really break the game down to where you can't not understand it. And just Ryan gonna make sure that the fundamentals there. And when the fundamentals there and you bring the mentality, it can't be stopped.
For you, I noticed today that you were one of the first guys, from the D-line room on the field. Before practice really gets started, the activation period, you're out there kind of getting some extra work in. So you kind of working around with Josh, talking a little bit of Trayvon. Is that the next step? Is that something that maybe, those types of things, being around those kind of guys, being a sponge, that's what you feel is going to help you kind of step up?
That's what you got to do. I learned it's people that's where you want to be. They're going to just get a game. You just soak it up, just like during the preseason game. Every time I came to the sideline, I was talking to them. They was, hey, do this, do that, key this, and it just worked.
What do you hope to accomplish, coming in with Tampa Bay tomorrow? Having the opportunity to not just play, but to practice against somebody and then get to play them so that you're a little familiar with them, but they're not as familiar with the guys that you practice with every day. Can you see the value in that?
Yes, because just like they can set different from our O-line, because just like when we played the other night, we played Kansas City, they were more vertical set. When you go against different people, you see different sets. Then you got to work different stuff on the different sets.
What does DJ Coleman have to do to make that 53 roster?
Just keep being me, go hard, motor, and make plays.
Yeah, keep making plays. Has a good chance to make the team. We talk Jags all the time on the new Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Catch the Brent and Austin show daily, 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. I'll be live at practice for a little bit of the show tomorrow before coming back to studio. More coverage coming this fall, by the way, in the network. You can find on actionnewsjax.com and the Action News Jax app. High school football gets going this week. The legend Marty Lee talking about the First Coast Bucks when we get back on 1st and 10 training camp. Look at Trayvon Walker, added more than a dozen pounds. He's going to bounce between that rush end and three technique spot, it appears, in 2024, heading into year number 3. Get local sports on demand with Action Sports Jax 24/7. All sports, all local, all the time. From the locker room to the field, the Jags, high school football, the Jacksonville Armada, and don't forget the Brent and Austin show. They're all in on Trevor. Of course. Download the Action News Jax Now app, available wherever you stream or at actionnewsjax.com. TV, phone, laptop, desktop. Action Sports Jax 24/7. Jacksonville sports, all the time.
You're watching Action Sports Jax 1st and 10 Training Camp, sponsored by Farah & Farah, the exclusive personal injury law firm of the Jaguars.
Tonight, the silver bullet's going to fly again, okay? Because, you know, if you look at the old Western days, you know, with the old Long Ranger and Tonto, and he had the horse Bronco, did you ever realize that Tonto and the Long Ranger, they rode the horse? The horse didn't ride them. We're going to ride the Bronco tonight. Okay?
One of the all-time pregame speeches from Marty Lee. He's back again with the First Coast Bucks, and he recently joined our After the Game show.
No. We fumbled the punt.
Oh, okay.
You know, and then y'all get the ball back.
Yeah,
we've got to stop them. If we stop them, we can win this ball game.
Right. And we run like counter pass, tight end on the corner, and their kids all biting under. It was like 4th and 5.
It was 4th and 5.
From about the 15 going in, and we run the pass, and we hit the guy in the end zone. And score, and I look across the field, and Marty's giving me double birds across the field.
That's Kevin Sullivan, Marty Lee, two good friends talking about the old days a little bit, along with Josh Baker on After the Game. You can check out the newest episode on our YouTube channel, Action Sports Jax. And the Blitz officially on Friday. Season opener previews, regular season in Florida. Checks in on some of the openers north of the border as well, because it really starts up in southeast Georgia, really the entire state of Georgia, this Friday. That's going to do it. 1st and 10 training camp. See you in the morning. Bucks and Jags on the practice field.
Thanks for watching Action Sports Jax 1st and 10 Training Camp, sponsored by Farah & Farah, the exclusive personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. All sports, all the time on Action Sports Jax 24/7. Miller and Moulton talk Florida sports. Brent and Austin discuss the Jags, NASCAR, sports stories of the week, and Young and Norval. Streaming on Action News Jax Now on your favorite streaming device.